Convergence Capstone Five is a US-led program of continuous experimentation. This is our third iteration of this. We first got involved in Project Convergence in 2023, and we've seen incremental improvements over the last 3 years to our modernisation efforts. Not only does it give us the opportunity to experiment with emerging technology, it allows us to integrate with our key coalition partners, such as the US, UK, New Zealand, Canada, but also some other NATO nations who are involved.
Here on Project Convergence Capstone 5, we've been able to experiment with a whole host of technologies. 3 key technologies that we've really got a lot out of and been able to experiment with includes hyperteaming, human-machine teaming on the battlefield. Secondly, we've been able to work in collaboration with our UK partners to basically test and experiment on what we refer to as autonomous logistics. And finally, we've been able to employ a deception radio capability with the opposing force, referred to as Black Horse, the enemy over here.
PC is very much a sensing and counter-sensing battle, and how we fight those systems against a world-class Op4, which really importantly for us, for the UK, hitting the AUKUS Pillar 2, we're really lucky to have the Australian hyperteaming element, 1st Armoured Regiment.
We're seeing AUKUS Pillar 2 on the ground here. We've got an integrated platoon of Australians, UK, and we're working for a UK battle group as part of the experiment. Hyperteaming is a prototype system in which we are trialling one soldier utilising unmanned ground vehicles and unmanned aerial systems to go and autonomously survey and detect enemy in a particular area. The advantage is that we're getting one soldier to do something that previously took many soldiers, and we're also utilising multiple uncrewed aerial systems to look into an area from one controller.
So the purpose of the Army Logistics Contingent for experimentation is to work with the UK and US forces in order to create an in-transit visibility system. This will enable commanders, and in turn planners themselves, to fight the fight forward with the awareness of their current logistics capabilities. So a perfect demonstration of what we achieved on this field exercise is we had a Nepalese driver with a UK vehicle with an Australian container roll on and off platform system inside a French ISO 20-foot container. That just demonstrates that partner nations are able to integrate effectively in order to move supplies from their national support bases to any conflict that arises.
Here at PCC5, our team with Pen 10 as a sovereign industry have been working with Op4 US Army to test trap radio in real environments. It allows commanders to create a perception plan to mimic high value targets, which creates a dilemma for adversary EW operators.
It's so important that we work with like-minded nations in regard to how we can work together and support each other. Secondly, in regard to experimentation, there's a real opportunity here in regard to scale and mass that we can't replicate back at home. And again, it just builds those networks that we have with our partners and like-minded friends. And as we know, the current environment is more challenging than it has been in the recent past. So it's vital that those relationships are strong, and the interoperability that we have between all of us is real on a solid foundation. The other thing I think is learning from each other. Each of us take different steps, and so by learning from each other's successes, or perhaps not quite a success, it just means we're stronger together, united.